Welcome to D.I.Y. Automotive School with my friend Pete and Minnie, the body shop girl. It's everything you need to know about cars and more.
Dirty gasoline.
Can you smell that?
Shoot,
Can you smell it?
It smells like gasoline.
Do we got smell-o-rama on our video?
Yeah, smell everyone.
That smells like gas, like if you had a 1950 Buick and you found it in the field and it had gas in the tank. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
That's what you're looking at. To finish our LS2 conversion, what we got here is 8, not 3, not 5, not 7, but 8 brand new fuel injectors. Can I go ahead and tell you how much that little baby cost?
I'm sure it's probably at least $100.
$40 each.
Oh, well, that's cheap.
So that's 300 and let's see, 8 times 4 is what?
32.
That's $320 plus tax each for all of them. And that was my cost at the dealer. And we got 68 pounds of fuel pressure. Oops, can you hook the battery up, please? Just push down on it. There you go. I don't think it's gonna run now. Okay, it ain't gonna run. Okay. You can smell the old gas. Can you smell it from there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is, we just had it running. I disconnected the mass airflow sensor to, get it going, but what we gotta do is, Minnie can bring the camera over here. We're gonna have to take our fuel rail off. We're gonna have to replace all of the fuel injectors. It's not a good fucking situation. I should have realized this when we put the motor in, but it didn't even occur to me that this would happen. But the last one we did on the 65 Chevy truck, we put all brand new fuel injectors in it. Remember?
Yeah.
Or don't you remember?
How many 65 trucks have you done? Which one? I don't know.
So that's the situation we have, and let me get a couple of these out. I want to show you what the old injectors look like. We're going to go ahead and pull the whole rail system off at one time, and when we get that off, we'll let you know what we find. It's not looking pretty, but I think it's going to be badass when we get it running, so that's the deal now. Alright, there you go. And I just want to show everybody what a fuel rail is. What you're looking at here is the fuel rail on an LS2.
Full of fuel.
The gas goes up in here, and then of course it travels in there, and then it would fire off. we found out that only 2 fuel injectors were actually working. The rest of them were clogged. So we're going to go ahead and change those out. And then once we get those changed, we'll put it back on there. And I believe that this thing is going to run. All right, if you can give me, it should just slide off, just like that. This comes out like that. Oh yeah, it's clogged in there. Oh yeah. Oh, do you know why it's green? Because these gaskets are green. And it's mixing with these old, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So basically changing out the fuel injectors on these new engines is very, very easy. Not really that hard or big of a deal to do.
Unless you take it to the dealership and they charge
And they
you
charge
like
you $10,000.
$2,000.
We got an O-ring right there. You want to get that out of there? There's another one that was completely clogged.
There's 2 of them.
Here. Look at that. Wow. All right, so that's the gas we're looking at. You can see what kind of situation we got here. Not looking good at all. Go get the car cleaner over there. Get me some rubber gloves, please. There's our old fuel injectors right there. They're not looking good, looking nasty. $40 a piece. I actually thought that was a pretty good deal. Hold on, we got us a guest in here. Let's go see what he's up to.
What the hell?
Okay, hold on, look what we got. Look what we got here. We got Daryl. We got Daryl from the chicken coop, Oliver's Chicken Coop.
There you go.
What's going on up there at that redneck cabin?
Wait a minute, hold it. I just wanted to come over here and hug your wife.
Why? Why is that?
I got jealous.
Why? Why you hugging her?
Look at this.
Yeah.
I know, right?
What's going?
Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking.
What's going on up at the chicken coop, Daryl? What's it? Huh?
I just got a question to ask.
What's that, bud?
You want to build some consoles for me on that
Console?
Range Rover?
I don't know. I gotta look at it.
Look at it.
Okay.
All right.
Look what we're working on here, dude.
Okay.
Okay, right now we're changing fuel rails out. Okay, LS2 motors and transmissions.
Man, that don't look like a Land Rover.
I know, it's not a Land Rover, dude. It's definitely not from the chicken coop, buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Land Rover chicken coop.
Yeah, there you go, the Land Rover chicken coop right here in Louisville, Texas with Daryl. Look what we got, bud. Look how nasty these were. There was 3 or 4 of them that were completely clogged.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, what's this, Daryl? What are we looking at over here? What's this black stuff in here?
Oh, my God.
What is that?
That's that famous gasoline that we got over here.
Well, let me ask you this, Daryl. Since you're the tech on this, why would the gas be green coming out of the fuel rail? When we dumped the gas out, it was green. Why is that?
I think it's probably a chemical reaction to the stainless steel.
You think so?
Yep.
So you're saying that the green gas that was in here has been in there for many years and it's just been in there?
Over a year.
This engine's been sitting for 6 years, Daryl.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it could. I think once you get the new injectors in there,
I think that thing's going to run like a beast.
that's going to run.
6.2 liter.
That's going to be a badass car.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If we got any problems, we'll be bringing it up there for you to fine tune it. The chicken coop, bud. Right up there in Louisville, Texas.
Hey, Pete brings them up with the Land Rover sticker on them, and hey, the guys, I never seen a Rover like this before. You know, they get all done, they takes the sticker off and leave.
Take it easy,
No
Daryl.
trick, man. All right, see you later.
All right, buddy. I'll come up there and look at that Monday.
All right, man.
Take it easy, bud. All right. And it's always good to see neighbors from the neighborhood pop in and out, like Daryl, the mechanic up there at the chicken coop. Well, it's Oliver's, yeah, but we're calling it the chicken coop. It's a redneck heaven from hell. So let's get back to our fuel rail here, get it cleaned out, so we can go ahead and get this thing running. What's nice about the fuel rail is stainless steel, so we don't have to worry about it rusting out. All right, so we don't want to put that on dry, so what we're going to do is we're going to take just a drop of tool oil lube, lubricate that O-ring so it'll slide up onto the rail. All right, so we now have our brand new fuel system ready to put on our LS2 1966 Chevelle. I'm gonna go ahead and take my hand and just kind of rub those. Let's go ahead and hook it up and see what we got. And now it's just a matter of hooking the wires up and going ahead and bolting the rack back down, hooking everything back on the engine. And when we come back, we're gonna see if this thing's gonna start up. All right, we got our fuel rails installed. Fuel injectors are installed. I wired them back up. And now we are going to see what happens. I gotta hook up the fuel line here, which is very easy. And I will say one thing about these LS2s, they're very easy to work on. If something happens, they're, you know, like working on nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and hook this back up. This is our mass airflow sensor. Now what we're going to do is we will go ahead and click it over a few times, get the fuel rails filled up, and then go from there. Okay, we went ahead and filled the fuel rails up, hopefully. Let's go ahead and turn it over. This is a fly-by-wire type situation. It's an electronic throttle. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's no cables, there's no linkage, it just runs off the computer.
Wow. So
we can't give it gas unless we're in the car. So let's go ahead and start it and see if it'll start up. Here we go. Let's turn it over. Cross your fingers. Still running like shit. Shouldn't be doing that. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on.
it's probably not got enough gas through the system.
I still
yet.
smell old gas, so let's take the map sensor back off.
Did you put new gas in it?
Yes, of course. It's a brand new gas
Wow,
tank.
I just thought
I put
gas.
5 gallons of gas in it. I'm thinking there might be something else wrong with it. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Let her roll.
Here we go. Sounds pretty good. Am I right?
Sounds awesome.
It sounds really good. Can you hear it? It sounds even Steven. You better go get my phone so I can make a little video of this. Alright, sounds like it's running pretty good. Now that we got it running, I'm going to go ahead and hook the mass sensor back up to it. That's what's giving us our situation. Let's see if we can get it running with the mass sensor running and see what happens. And there you go. LS2 in action, running and running good. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Okay, now we got a problem with the mass sensor hooked up. It's not running, so hang on a minute. Because remember, Daryl said to run it without it for a while.
Well, why'd you put it back on?
I wanted to see if it would run. Okay, let's go ahead and unhook that. So, I never did ask Daryl why he gave me the opinion to do that, but since it's Easter weekend, we'll have to wait till Monday to find out the real story on our map sensor. Let's go ahead and start it back up and see what's going on. Son of a bitch. Now, it was running just fine until you showed up.
Daryl said you not to put on there.
Now it's not going to run. Well, we had it running. Now it's not fucking running. We're going to have to go ahead and hook this up to the diagnostic unit and see why it's not running and why it's dying out. So it does run. It is a strong engine. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens later down the line. So this is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete, taking the domino effect one step further and basically replacing parts that, yeah, thought would make it run, but it didn't. Okay, we found out why it's not running right. Now, when we disconnect the MAF sensor, mass airflow sensor, it would start up and run. When it's connected, it doesn't run. So we had our buddy Rick from Rick's Custom Auto come over here with his scanner. He put the scanner on it, and he kept saying that the temperature, the air temperature going in the air cleaner was not reading properly, which was making the fly-by-wire, if you look right here, this doesn't have any cables, it's all electronic. The fly-by-wire throttle pedal wasn't functioning properly, and also everything wasn't reading properly. So I called Jim over at, what is it called, Hot Auto Wire in Mena, Arkansas. Give them a call right here if you need any type of electronic help or parts, wire harnesses such as this, to do your job, because these guys are masters at this, and they're actually the ones that made this wire harness. So he said that the problem lied in the wiring, which is right here, and he said all these wires are backwards. Now, I don't know how this happened. He said that when they plugged all this in, they were probably wiring it up for a LS2 or some other sort. So he said what we need to do is take these wires out of this connection and then re-plug them up for the diagram that he gave me here. And if you see where the yellow one is, that's where the brown one's supposed to go. And then you got your black and white one, which is in the right place. And then of course you got your yellow would go where the red and white is, and then the black would go on the end, and the red and white would go right there. So we need to change those out. Now, to change these out is a little bit tricky, because if you break this thing, then you gotta buy a new connection fitting, and we don't want to have to do that, so we're going to be very careful. I'm going to take this out here, and the way that you change these, where did I put the little purple cap? Here it is. You would take the purple cap off. This is a dust cap, and then you take that washer out. Now inside these, there's a little black clip that holds that in there. And if you break that clip, you're screwed. You can already see this one here. I don't even know if that one was plugging in or not. But there's a little clip that you pull back very carefully right here. And he said to be very careful with that, because if you break that plastic clip, it's going to screw up. Okay, if you can grab that wire, what I'm going to do is I am going to pull this clip back. You're going to take them near those pliers and gently pull that yellow wire out. Okay, so let me see the light here. Okay, you ready? Because this is not going to be an easy job, I'll tell you when. Grab that. Okay, now if you can pull it out very carefully. There you go, come on. Okay, hold it right there. Don't break the wire. Let me have it. Alright, so we got to get this wire out. This wire here is in the wrong place. Can you give me a razor blade? I'm going to go ahead and cut this so we can have some more space. Because we're going to have to pull like 4 of these wires out. But you see the kind of problems you run into when you're doing this kind of work, and it will really irritate and frustrate you. You can ask Minnie how frustrated I've been for the last 3 or 4 days. And then we're going to go ahead and pull the black, as the black and white one stays. Let's see, we need to take the, okay, the red and white one needs to come out, so I'm going to get that one next, okay? Alright, so the only one that was actually in the place that it was supposed to be is our black and white one. So now we got to go by our diagram that Jim over at Hot Auto Wire, Mena, Arkansas, told us to put them in. So we got our brown one, our black and white one, then we got the yellow one. And you got to make sure that you put these in the right way or they will not go in at all. So there's all our wires. The only one that I'm really skeptical about is that yellow one. Looks like it's in there. These are very, there it goes. Okay. Okay, and then what we would do is take our washer, our waterproof airtight washer, put it back around like this. And we'll go ahead and take our cover, and I'm sure that goes on a certain way, just like that. And then I think once that's on there, we should be all right. And then I'm going to try to start the motor, and hopefully it'll start up and it'll run like it's supposed to. Because we got a lot of time in our motor. We got a lot of time in it, we got a lot of hours, we got a lot of money. You understand what I'm saying? And when me and this guy out here is spending all that money out there, and he's doing all this work, what happens? He doesn't need the little lady bitching and hollering and screaming about what's going on.
There you go.
Because he's already depressed and already upset because the $20,000 he spent to do this isn't working. So he definitely doesn't need mama bitching.
And when mama's not happy, nobody's happy.
And now it's not doing anything. So he said that the brown, the black and white, yellow, red and white, and black. So let's go ahead and take this off.
See if it starts with it off.
And now you see what I'm talking about, being very upset and depressed after you do all this work for how many years?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So more than likely, we'll be putting the wires back how they were. Okay, now it's not even doing anything at all. That doesn't make no sense at all. Now the fuel pump's not even coming on. Motherfucking bitch. Okay, turn it off. We'll be back. I gotta figure it out. Hey, how y'all doing out there? This is Pete over at D.I.Y. Auto School, and as you can see by watching the video, it was a very, very big fiasco on what was really going on with the situation at hand. So what the problem ended up being is the fuel injectors were clogged up. There was only 2 or 3 fuel injectors that we were firing up. But the intake manifold and anywhere that there was gas that was involved in the engine itself was so varnished up and so clogged up that it took approximately probably 2 months from starting it and stopping it and driving it down the road and clearing the whole fuel system out of the motor to make it run properly. The mass airflow sensor was reading everything wrong because due to the way that this is a fly-by-wire engine, and when I say a fly-by-wire engine, I'm talking about it doesn't have a throttle cable, it doesn't have no linkage, everything is computerized. I would like to clear up that we did get the computer reprogrammed for the situation at hand and had all the codes cleared off, so that was a must doing that. And when we put the computer back in, everything seemed to be functioning properly when we put the scanner on it, except for that one sensor. The reason that one sensor was not reading properly is because the fuel airflow mass airflow mixture wasn't letting the sensor do its job. Once we cleared it all out, once we drove it down the road, we got the motor running, it seemed to clear itself up and everything ran perfect. This is a good example that when you buy these motors out there, when you get these used motors from the junkyard, such as our buddy Matt did for his 66 Chevelle, that motor sat around for 4 years in the junkyard before he bought it. It sat in my shop for another 2 years while he was saving his money up to do the job that we just did. Now, if you're lucky and you go and buy one of these motors out of the junkyard and they just happen to pull it out ASAP and it's a brand new engine that was a running driving engine right on Johnny on the spot, you won't run into these problems. The wiring on the sensor that I was working on in the video was actually backwards. It was wired for an LS3 instead of an LS2. So we did find that out. That did cure that problem once the fuel system cleared itself up. It would start up when we unplugged the mass airflow sensor, and then after it ran for 5 or 10 minutes, when you plug the mass airflow sensor in, it would stay running. And while the engine was hot, if you turned it off while the engine was hot, it would start right back up and run perfect. But if you let the engine sit when it was cold and you waited a couple days, then you had to unplug that sensor, start it up, let it run for a few minutes, plug it back in, and it would work. And eventually, like I said 7 times now, everything cleared up, everything worked out properly, it all functioned, and the car ran perfect. I can put up other videos of this, of me tinker-toying around and going through the situation that you just saw over and over of many, many hours of filming. But this video is not made for the professional guy out there that knows everything about these motors. This is a video set that is designed for the do-it-yourself DIY guy at home that wants to change his own motor out and do all his own work. These are the kind of problems that you're going to run into when you're doing this at home. You're going to have to do your own legwork. You're going to have to do your own scanning like I had to do. You're going to have to call people, ask questions. You're going to have to rely on people that you can trust to give you right answers. Because a lot of you guys out there don't have the money, millions of dollars to spend on doing a job like this. That's why you're watching my videos, to learn how to do them. And this is trials and tribulations. This is an example of what happens when you run into problems like this. It's just a domino effect. I use that word a lot because a lot of the work that you do on cars is a domino effect. And when I say domino effect, I'm talking about you're going to fix one thing, then something else is going to break, then you're going to find this is wrong, then this is wrong. And, you know, you just got to take your time, you got to have patience, and you got to believe in yourself that you're going to get her done and do it right. Because if you're not doing it right, there's something wrong, and you need to start doing it right. Don't rely on other people to do stuff for you all the time. You have to learn in life that you're the only person that can get it done, and you're the only person that can make it right. No matter how frustrated you get, no matter how mad you get, one day, sooner or later, it will be right. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. When we come back, we're going to be meeting up with our buddy Matt, the owner of this vehicle, and we're probably going to be over on SWRC on part 2 of the situation that started all this out. Turned out to be a happy situation, so make sure you watch that video over at SWRC, that's YouTube channel SWRC for Southwest Ride and Custom, as Matt and his lovely wife, Holly, visit SWRC to take his car for a ride. That's right, to drive his car for the first time in 18 years. We'll see you then. Take it easy and good luck with all of the projects that you have lined up in your garage or your house to start doing the right way.
Thanks for watching D.I.Y. Automotive School. Classes don't stop till you know everything.